What happens when the world's most critical oil corridor stops being a shared waterway and now then starts becoming a battlefield of power, trolls, and threats? Tonight, the Strait of Hormuz is no longer just about a shipping lane. It is becoming a geopolitical pressure point where the alliances are cracking and warning and turning into ultimatums. But there's a shockwave. Well, this time, the United States is not only targeting Iran, it is now warning one of its closest Gulf partners, Oman. Yes, Washington has threatened the sanctions and said, basically even hinted at the military consequences if Oman supports the Iranian-backed plan to impose what Iran thinks of Hormuz. And now that changes the equation. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent issued a blunt warning. Any country, company, or entity felicitating the Iranian control over the toll collection, he said, will face severe punishment. But this time, it comes right after an explosive statement from President Donald Trump, who warned Oman against aligning with Tehran, declaring that no country will control the strait and calling it the international waterway. However, it is very interesting to know that the language escalated further. Trump went as far as warning the Oman will behave like everybody else or we will have to blow them up. This was Trump's words. Now, this is not happening in isolation. Iran has also been tightening its grip on the maritime moment in the Straits of Hormuz and a route through which nearly 1/5 of the oil flows through every single day. Even small disruptions have a sending of shockwaves through the global energy markets. And Iran argues that it is protecting the national security and ensuring the fairness of navigating costs. But reports now suggest that Tehran, along with Oman, is exploring a structured toll system and vessel passing through the Strait of Hormuz. But the United States sees a very different thing altogether. What it calls as an attempt to weaponize the global energy supply chains. And make no mistakes here, the stakes are enormous. If the tensions escalate further, it could disrupt the oil flow, spike the energy, and pull multiple Gulf powers into the wider confrontation. And yet, the diplomacy is still behind every scene. Indirect talks between the US and Iran continue, but now it is a show of Strait of Hormuz, which is now becoming a central fault line. A corridor once defined by trade is now defined by control, confrontation, and identity of uncertainty. And the question tonight is simple, but let me tell you, very chilling. Who really controls the world's most important waterways, and what happens if nobody does?